a trip. It's got a funky beat, and I can bug out to it.
kill all sound. Kill all sound.
Sound in the alarm, break me down to nothing. I'm ready to fall into your destruction. Sound in the alarm, yeah, I'm feeling reckless. I'm ready to dive into your destruction. Don't ever let go. 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 Sound in the alarm, break me down to nothing. I'm ready to fall into your destruction. Sound in the alarm, yeah, I'm feeling reckless. I'm ready to dive into your destruction. Don't ever let go. Don't ever let go. Don't ever let go. Don't ever let go.
This track is a fucking banger. East State, get out of the chat. Are you in my room, Andy? What up, Shaw? What up, Brooks? What up, Hobby? What up, Telling Tales? What up, Colin? Mono? Ander with the sub. Goofing. We got a squad. Let's go. Cosma, I miss you. Yes, Deputy, this is very exciting. All right. Oh, that's not it. This is it. How's everybody doing? Let me turn this thing down. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Patch Notes. This is Patch Notes 4. I'm so excited tonight to have on my very special guest, my good friend, Sammy, LSDREAM. We've got so many people in the chat right now just being awesome. I don't know many artists with a more rad fan base than LSDREAM. So super excited. Before we kick this thing off, I will have a word from our main sponsor. It'll be quick. And our main sponsor is the school that I've opened up. It's called Future Proof Music School. It's super special and it's really unique. I've spent over a year with my partner building this thing, and it's gotten to the point where I'm really excited to tell you all about it. Future Proof is based around personalized mentorship and education. We set out to create this thing to solve a lot of the problems that exist in the online music education space, and there are a lot of them. Just to name a few, affordability. Future Proof is only $99 a month. And we have a very special code tonight. We've never done this before. Use code LSDREAM25 at checkout for 25% off your first month, which is like you're getting a discount on something that's already cheap. Super amazing. Don't miss out on it. I want to walk you guys through what a day in the life at Future Proof is all about. So when you join Future Proof, you get to pick your mentor, and you get monthly mentorship. Every single month, you get to meet with a mentor, someone to hold you accountable. Most importantly, someone to help you reach your goals as quickly as you can. So that's kind of the core of Future Proof and what it's all about. We have all these incredible things, right? So when you join, you get a custom curriculum made just for you based off your onboarding process, where you say, hey, this is where I'm at. These are my goals. This is what I want to do. And this is how long I want to spend doing it. You're not meant to stay at Future Proof forever. We're trying to get you to where you're going as quickly as possible. We have this vast curriculum that I've had a huge role in. We have all these different things. All of our curriculum has been created by people who have actually been successful, like, which is such an important part and like totally overlooked, right? Like everyone on our staff is a successful musician. That's a huge part of it. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. If I click on the calendar, every single day there are workshops. Earlier today, we had mixing and mastering with JJ Hernandez, who's a Grammy-nominated mixing engineer who's incredible. We have PD Clicks tomorrow talking about creative mindset. We're doing an awesome AI creative lab on Thursday. We have feedback on Friday. We've got Drum Cell talking about the music career blueprint. This is every single day of the week. There's something awesome going on. Super amazing. The last thing that I'll mention is Cadence. Cadence is an AI bot that we've designed that does insane shit. At the very base level, knows absolutely everything about every manual you would ever want to know involving music production. And on the very high end, can listen to your music and give you feedback. It's absolutely incredible and super helpful because it can answer questions that are way too specific for YouTube. And one of the things that we've really tried to set out and do at Future Proof is end YouTube University. Like, YouTube University is whack. Here's your solution. So I'll wrap the pitch up there. Go to futureproofmusicschool.com if you want to join. 7-day trial, no credit card, cancel anytime you want. And then it's $99 from there if you decide to join. And you can use code LSDREAM25 at checkout. Get 25% off your first month. So that's out of the way. It's done. Let's get this thing going and let's let the man in. I want everyone to give an exceptionally awesome welcome for Sammy. LS Dream has entered the chat. How are you doing, man? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Wait, hold on, I gotta.
You're you know what? It's me. I'm muted in Zoom.
All right, here we
now
go.
Everything's fine. I know it is. I didn't want to
Yes.
double chat. How you doing, bro?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Damn, RIP YouTube University. What?
Dude, it's over. This is the solution. YouTube University is over. I mean, think about it.
No, I get it. It's incredibly frustrating.
How frustrating. Like, you want to do one thing, right? You want to learn. If you get down to the brass tacks of things, we could just get right into creativity. I'm really excited to talk to you about this. But why do you make music, right? You make music, at least I make music, because I have something in my brain that I need to express. And music is what I love. And that's what makes the most sense for me. And then you're like, okay, cool. Let's start this. Let's make music. And then you're like, okay, cool. Oh shit, feedback, hello.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good? Okay, cool. So you're like, all right, cool. It's time to take action upon my dreams, because that's what people do. They take action upon their passions, right? And then you go on YouTube and you're like, fuck. You enter into the Dunning-Kruger operation before you were ever meant to. What's your thoughts on just the vastitude of
I think
that?
so. I learned on YouTube University, but this was in the day where there was no resources. So it was either literally YouTube or someone you knew you'd link up and I remember being in the studio with people for the first time, opening up Serum like right when it came out, and everyone's like, what does it do? It's like the only place you could go is YouTube. I think what happened was the idea of like content creators sort of created too much noise, because now people are like, I'm passionate about sharing music production, and someone thinks that their technique or what they're showing is amazing, but taste level is subjective. So it's like you're not learning from necessarily someone who's you want to be learning from, and there's so many people trying to do it like a content creator, and so it's just flooded with endless amounts of garbage. And if you're a beginner, especially, like, how are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to tell the difference? So that's why I love what you're doing. And when you told me all about this, I told you, I was like, I want to support this however I can.
You did.
And so happy to hop on and chat, and honestly, like, I want to jump in on some of those classes and workshops as well, because I'm always wanting to learn and hear other producers take on things and sort of expand my own skill set. And so I'm like, even someone at my level, I see what you're doing and I'm like, I want in.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the sign of someone who's truly dedicated to their craft, is that it doesn't matter how far you get or what level of success you reach. It was never about that from the beginning. It's about the love and the quest for knowledge. I think that's like, if you have that, you will eventually become successful. And you've always had that. That's why you become successful in so many lanes and so many different projects, because you just like to get better and you love the art. And I think that can be looked over. You can get lost in the social media and the grind and the stuff that just, like, I wish didn't matter at all.
Yeah. I think our field, and I think it's true in a lot of artistic mediums, where you can see yourself as a scientist doing experiments, like a craftsman, a technician, an artist, a philosopher. Like, all these things are sort of embedded in what we do, because it is extremely technical, but it also has to be extremely sort of non-technical, emotional, like, sort of unique to the person. And so that blend, I think, really speaks to me as someone who loves the sort of craftsman part of it, but also likes a blank canvas and, like, just kind of express with no rules. I think the blend of not having rules but also knowing the tools is what sort of creates allows the unique perspective to like come through in a skilled way. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we're all going for. That's why we want to learn, how can I execute these ideas better? How can I share this unique expression like in a masterful sort of high-end, well put together way? If you
Yeah.
appreciate, some people call that like there's some producers that are like, it's like a producer's producer, like their fan base is other producers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people that I
No,
really
Spiritual
respect,
Riot and, you know, like they're yeah, the producer's producer.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But something that I strive for is to be both.
Mm,
Like I want my music to really hit for someone who doesn't know anything about production at all. But also the people that know about production can get inspired or just enjoy listening to someone else sort of execute like the craft of production, and um comes kind of from like a dancer mentality, which is what I was doing a lot before I committed to music full time. And so in a dance crew, when you're battling against other crews or you're at an event and a circle opens up, people are going in the circle and it's like that b-boy mentality of like, all right, here's what I'm working with, right? And it's not as much as you're trying to like be the best or impress everyone. You're just expressing the level that you're at and what, like expressing through movement and technique, and everyone that's watching is absorbing that, and that begins to feed the culture, and so you get ideas watching other people do what they do,
mm,
and everything builds on top of each other. And part of the reason I got really attracted to this genre of music was the culture around the creativity. Everyone's learning from each other, and there's a lot of mentorship naturally. Like people want, there's a lot of, most producers I think want other producers to be dope.
mm.
Like if I'm downloading, listening to a bunch of music, like I want to be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is sick, you know? And
Of
so
course.
sort of then inspires you to want to be better as well. So it's like everyone else's art inspires everyone else. And that's like something so special about our world.
Absolutely. I would love to go back to what you said about this striving and the desire for a lot of people to be the producer's producer,
Yeah.
and the endless, like depthless cave that is, and in my opinion, a dangerous pursuit. That,
Mhm.
listen, I personally think that striving to be a producer's producer is partially ego driven, natural ego, to feel like the people that you look up to respect what you do, right? You've worked really hard on what you did. It would be really nice if the people that I think are significantly better than me also like what I do. And sometimes I notice that, I mean, everyone goes through that moment where they're like, fuck, my music doesn't sound like the people that I like, right? That happens for everybody. The question is just like, at what point does that happen, and how you respond to that adversity. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
Well, here's the red flag is like, it's not that it's necessarily a dangerous pursuit per se, because it depends what your goals are. Like if
True.
that's what you want, cool, go for it.
Yeah.
But what happens is one of the big like quicksand moments is people are producing for validation. They
Yes.
they want to feel like they belong, and they want to feel accepted and validated by their community and by their peers. That's why, and the curse of that is we have 1 million songs that all sound the same because
Mm,
everyone's looking for that validation of like, see, I can do it too. My tune sounds like I'm part of this club that sounds like this.
hmm.
And you get a lot of like redundant ideas because people are seeking validation. And uh So, yeah, that's like the downside of it. I think obviously everyone's brain and what they want to express is different. And because this is such a technical craft, you have some producers that are just getting super, super, super nerdy with it. And like that's just their thing.
True.
But ultimately, you have to sort of reference that against your goals. Like, what's your goal? Like, do you want to build a brand that is selling out like 4,000 cap rooms because there's not enough producers in the world
That's
sell
so
that amount of
real.
tickets to.
That's too
You
real,
need
dude.
you
You have
need
to know that. You have to know that that's kind of what I meant by that is like, what's your like you had, which brings me to a point that I like to make is in the beginning of the process and the dedication to the craft, understanding, okay, cool, like this is what success looks like for me, whatever
Yes.
that is, right? But
Yeah.
just saying it out loud, like,
Yeah.
is it, and it can't be based off of numbers, right?
No.
That's rules. You
Yeah.
cannot base success off of something like ticket sales or streams or followers, any of that. That is bad idea, right? Cannot do that. But what you can do is say, wow, I finished this amount of work, or I felt I produced a new EP and a new style of music, or I discovered it, right? It's all, the goal is to have goals that have nothing to do with anyone else, right? So like, sure, be the like, you know what's funny? Almost every EP, if you were to go back through my discography of music, you'll find one song that I'll be like, that I try to be the producer on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go like a little hard on this one. It's always my least popular song every time, like without a shadow of a doubt. And it's just funny to me. And the songs that are my biggest and most popular songs are like the melodies I dreamed of and like didn't think twice about and went with intuition and just followed my heart and had fun doing. And I think that that's just scientifically correct in how it works, and that's just how art is.
Yeah. You said something that I think is a really good thing to unpack because I think this is the one of the like this is like a key thing at any level to understand what you define success as
Mm,
because if our job, right, is to sit down and create and execute and share and release, right? If our job is to go through this motion, being frustrated, beating ourselves up, being our own worst harsh critic, like those things will literally take the joy out of the process and you just won't make it, right? Like you'll just be like, why am I doing this? I'm miserable, right?
yeah,
So
quickly.
the idea of redefining success is like such a valuable starting point. And like I'll practice and have practice literally whittling it down to feeling successful like before I even begin. Like
Mm,
before I even begin to approach something as I'm doing LS Dream things right now. Like I already want to feel successful.
mm,
Like I don't want to like tether my worth to the outcome of my work or even the day that I had in the studio because not
sure.
every day is amazing.
No.
So if I'm amazing one day, then I get to feel worthy of joy and success. It's like, no,
No.
right? So that's why I love Stoicism because in Stoicism, they define success more so than anything else by a person's character. So it's like, can you sit down and go, I'm successful today because, and then figure it out. I'm successful today because I'm sitting down to pursue something I love. Like, that's successful.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
moment.
easy to win if you think like that.
Yeah. Like, am I successful because, like, I value my character? I'm a good person. I have good intentions, right? Like, I want to do good things in the world. And so, like, fuck yeah, we need more people like that. So it's
Mhm.
like to be a person like that is successful. Um, and understanding like the energy of other victories that you can bring into your field. Like, when you do a nice thing for someone, you have that little victory. When you have
Mm,
a victory in another area of your life, right? If you change your life around, if you're being healthy, or if you're, you know, committing to a morning routine or something, it's like taking all those victories, bringing them in, and realizing that, like, the vibe that you bring in as a human before it attaches to your craft is like such an important part of this creative journey because what it allows you to do then is one, not take it so seriously, which also allows more play. When you have more play, you have better experimentation, you have more fun, you allow yourself to go down these rabbit holes and these wormholes, and it's not this pressure cooker, it's not this waste of time. And if you kind of mess around and like it's garbage all day long, it's like that's also part of the process.
mm.
So, yay, I did a day that sucked. It's one less day before something good happens. There's a
Sure.
million ways to look at it and have that good perspective, but defining what success is, if you could start at the very, very beginning, before the outcome or the process even happens, like already starts to open up just a better energy around it.
Yeah, and you said something interesting that I really like, and I think that sometimes people can struggle with and think that there's a world where who you are as an artist is separate from who you are as a human being. And if you do that, I think that's really detrimental and not a good idea. I think that the day you realize that who you are in the studio, who you are on tour, is the same person that is the person watching movies at night and talking to their mother, or how they treat their partner and whatever. All of those things are interlinked into one world, right? Like your Instagram handle is your DNA. There's no separate, right? Do you agree with that?
I think there's a light aspect and a shadow aspect. And
Mhm.
you're talking about the light aspect,
True.
right? Which is like authenticity,
Right.
which is the sort of vulnerability of human connection. Like the artist projects that are successful have a human element. I want to know
Absolutely.
you. I want to know you. I want to get to know who you are. And so there has to be that connection that you're talking about. I think that, like, from personal experience, like I experienced like the shadow aspect of that, which is my identity got too caught up in the identity of my project.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And so that's like the shadow aspect. We have to be careful. We also have to realize, like, like for example, with the self-worth analogy, to get it to make a specific example.
Hmm.
Let's say I put a song out and it flops, or people don't like it, or let's say, yeah, like I go do a show and the tickets don't sell or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I suck. That doesn't mean that I, Sammy, am bad. So it's like on some level, we need that connection and authenticity with our brand, right? And our project and what we're doing. But there needs to also be a disconnect on like the external connection of how it's appearing or perceived or received in the world. Especially trying to build a project and no one's listening, you could be like, no one cares about me.
Mm,
And that's
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 dangerous.
not a relationship you want to have if you're so woven with your project, because then everything that your project is, you feel like you are.
Mm,
So if it's not working, then you're not working.
true.
If it's working, then you're working, right? And so we get lost in that identity. So it's a fine line, and there's no like manual or handbook on it, and like usually it's too late when it happens and you realize it and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I did that. Um, but yeah.
I mean, dude, I remember just like I, I remember it being in LA as the prototype project was, doing very well in like 2016, 2017, 2018, around then. And my friends sat me down and they were like, you need to chill the fuck out.
Dude, I had one
And
of those interventions too.
yeah, like my best friends who, and that was a moment for me where I was like, I mean,
Uh-oh.
they're absolutely right, right? Like I was like, okay, what the fuck? I had nothing but prototype. No friends, no girlfriend, no relationships, nothing. And I do think that there is something to be said about what that may have led to my success, was my obsession with my
Mm.
craft, my addiction to music. And there wasn't even really social media back then. I was just doing nothing but making music and obsessing over touring and creating, and there's no room in my brain for anything. Not even like, apparently what I found out was real friendship, like even the friends I had around me, it wasn't real. I mean, you were there, you remember, like it was just like the cloud of Los Angeles, and especially at that time. And that for me was a moment, ironically, like 3 months later, I left LA. I moved back home to Nashville to be surrounded by my best friends that I went to kindergarten with and don't give a fuck about electronic music. They don't even ask me about the shit. They're just like, let's hang out, let's chill, and it's just like super that was an amazing moment for me, leaving Los Angeles and re-entering into this world that was just really nice for me, of like normalcy, and the universe kind of just checked me and also threw me a bunch of bad beats. Like I took some L's and it was not good. And I luckily I was able to wake up and catch things, and certainly things didn't work out the way I wanted to them, but like that was that was the dark side, right? Now, ironically, I'm very happy in my life, and everything is great in my life, and I'm able to just kind of exist on the light side of things, um, which is really nice. But that's an important point to bring up, that session, it can become an obsession, and as much as your project is a reflection of who you are in certain ways, it's not all that you are.
I like to think about it like different types of fuel, right?
Mm.
Now, I used many different kinds of fuel, right? Like at different points in my life, what motivated me was when someone was like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'd be
Mm.
like, "Oh yeah, watch this."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
gets you going because you got something to prove, you
Sure,
know?
sure, sure.
Um, different types of thing, the obsession, just like the excitement of it all. So I compare it to different kinds of fuel. Like you can burn like diesel oil, and but you might have like a there might be like a toxic oil spill one day and you'll be like, fuck.
Yeah.
The idea is like, what is the cleanest, most green eco energy you can run to have a work ethic, have discipline, have passion, but it's like sustainable because we both kind of, from what I gathered from your story, kind of operated in a similar way where it was just like the blinders are on and like this is my whole entire life. And
Mhm.
it's just not, it's first of all, it's not human. Like we need social connection, we need relationships of value outside of our
Yes.
careers. We need to take care of ourselves, our
Mhm.
brains. We also need to go live life and fill up our cup so then we can go make art about it, right? And
Mm.
so it's just not a sustainable thing. And then if you get successful and you start touring and you're in that model, then it's like only a matter of time before you're gone.
Absolutely.
And that
Yes.
happens in our world so much
Yep.
where, artists have a come up and then they have a moment and then it becomes unsustainable because the pressure, like, see what happens is when you reach a certain point of success, the amount of responsibilities that get added to your plate besides just grinding on music every day
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
becomes
yeah.
like nonstop
Yeah.
of like and ultimately you become a leader of a team of 10 people
Yeah.
and your income is like these 10 people, agents, managers, promoters, this, that, merch, all these people in your ecosystem are all making commission money from your money. So there's also a responsibility. You're like a business owner at that point, and no one ever explained that we needed like leadership skills
No,
to
or to do your
or
taxes and stuff like
or
that.
or
Like, yeah.
or life skills or understanding that the obsession model just is not
No,
sustainable. And so, yeah, like being able to, like, hindsight being 2020,
of course.
um, like what I learned was to really look at like what's motivating me and just the overall like work life balance. And it's been like one of the most difficult challenges throughout my career to find.
Mm.
And I constantly get better at it, and it's better now than it's ever been. But but yeah.
I love to hear that things are better than they've ever been,
Oh, for
because
sure.
you're absolutely right. The sustainability thing is oftentimes something you don't see until it's unsustainable. You know, it's too late. You're in the whirlwind, you're in the tornado, you got caught up, you messed up, and without those outside relationships and those people that really believe in you and love you for who you are, and it has nothing to do with who you are as an artist and what you bring to the table and the money you have, or whatever it is, those are the people that can bring you out of that thing. Not to say that that's what happens to everybody, but it just can happen, and we've seen it happen so many times, right?
Yeah.
um
Like there's a lot of people that are successful producers, but I wouldn't say they're successful humans.
mm. And what's more
And
important?
well, one feeds the other and the other doesn't feed the other.
Absolutely.
It's like it's
Absolutely.
better to really start from even just the awareness of someone going like, what do I need? And being able to figure that out is like huge.
It's
Um,
hard.
because everyone in this, like in our scene, everyone tells you that you need to be doing a million things and you can't even hold space for those million things. So you already feel like you're not doing enough and you get sucked into this sort of isolated chamber of yeah, like that, missing that like kind of essential natural human component of a social life and going out into nature, taking care of yourself, like
Nature
having
outside? No
outside,
way.
yeah.
No
Yeah.
way you go
You know,
outside.
they say never trust a producer with a tan, but I hope to change that. I hope to change that saying one day. Just
That's
show
a
up
good
like
thing.
tanned
That's
as
fine.
fuck and be like, here's my new album.
Listen,
Like
you are in the
when I do
position.
that, you will know that I have mastered the work-life balance.
Right. I'll be
You ever,
checking your
if you
skin
ever see
tone
me
for a
like
while.
super
Yeah,
tan,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'll know you've been cooking in Costa Rica or some shit.
cooking
And
and cooking.
absolutely, really cooking. Breakfast and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll keep that in mind. Um, one thing I wanted to ask you about that is a topic that I talk about all the time is inspiration.
Yeah.
And I speak about gathering inspiration as a learnable skill.
Hmm.
And it's about understanding who you are, what drives you, what you enjoy. And that when people come to me and they say, I've hit a brick wall, writer's block. I personally don't believe in it. I believe in focusing on the learning of the ability to gather inspiration, wherever that is for you. I wanted to ask you what your approach was to number one, like where you find inspiration. Number two, what you do when you're not feeling inspired, and what advice you would give to someone who is just looking to get inspired to express the things that they love.
Okay. Well, wait, say the third question one more time.
No, the third one was what would you say to someone who's
Okay.
like looking for
Yeah.
inspiration and they don't know how to find it?
Okay. So what inspires me is basically everything that happens in my heart. This is the source of it all for me. And like people are like, "Oh, what artists are you inspired by?" And I'm like, "I don't know, it changes all the time. Like I'm inspired by different moments from many different artists. It just depends what's happening like in here. Um I get inspired from like being out in nature.
Mm,
Um the reason that being out in nature inspires me is because I believe nature is one of the strongest like things that connect us to our inner wisdom.
mm,
Like the truth of who we are is reflected back to us from nature, like so powerfully. And so that I always find inspiration in nature. And it's not that I saw a tree and was like, "Oh, I want to write a song about this tree." It was like I had an experience in it and something connected. Like
yeah.
I connected with some truth within me in that moment and something happened and an idea came through or an inspiration came through. So nature is a big one for me. I get inspired from anything that opens up my heart. It could be like movies, it could be other songs, it could be hearing like a really powerful story from someone. It could be from moments that were like super fun or like times I've shared like, like even like at a festival, like you can go and watch a set and be like, damn, that was dope. But then not even watching music, but just being with people and sharing stories and having that moment of connection. I'm like, oh, I'm so inspired right
Mhm.
now because this story that I heard, or um, you got on a rant with someone and people are just kind of brainstorming, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea, actually. So, yeah, inspiration, it comes from everywhere. But for me, it's all about this. And your second question is, what do I do when I'm not inspired? The first thing I do is leave the studio. Like, I do not force myself to be in here. This is like a happy place. If I'm not feeling happy, I get out, and that's
Yeah.
okay, right? because like the idea is that there's other areas in life that bring happiness. So let me go do one of those, right? And so the first thing I do is get out, and then I look at like and ultimately it's a lack of play.
Mm.
It's the inner child playtime. Like when we were little and we got toys, we never had writer's block with toys. That shit is just fun. Like we get to play.
Straight up.
That's the energy. It's like
Mm.
you gotta you gotta have something like that in the studio where you go, you know what? Fuck all of my deadlines and responsibilities, and I should be doing this and I should be doing that. Today, we're gonna play. We're gonna be silly. We're gonna do random shit. We're gonna experiment. I'm gonna try a new plugin. I'm gonna like, you come up with these random things like I'm gonna make a song with all reversed samples. Everything's backwards, and you're like laughing, and you're like, this is the silliest shit ever. Like, how do you play? And ultimately that energy for me, inner child playtime, like uh is a huge way to like get rid of that stagnant energy. I think putting yourself through little sort of experiments where you go, like something that I like to do is like I'll open my Ableton browser, I'll put it on mute, and I'll start grabbing like a bunch of samples without hearing what they are, right?
Mm.
Just scroll, I'll type in like, like like funky, or I'll type in, like alien or whatever. I'll just see if any of the samples have names on them, or like glitch, or like whatever, beefy, whatever it is. Just grabbing samples without hearing them, and then I'll put my timer on 30 minutes, and I'll go, all right, I'm gonna make a beat with these samples in 30 minutes. Go. And you're just doing these looks, but just like get the energy moving. Just start doing something that's like not what you were trying to do,
Yeah.
and finding those little sort of like fun sort of games, I'll call them, like play games. And then I think the other energy too is a lot of writer's block and lack of inspiration. I think is not just a lack of joy in play, but there's an element of gratitude that's missing. And for me, it's about going and reconnecting with gratitude. Um, the fact that there even is something called music is so fucking incredible.
Mm.
Period. Um, the amount of gratitude you can bring to the fact that like there's a thing that's like a frequency wave, and it like wobbles next to our ear, and we hear it and then we feel it. Like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Fucking kidding me? Like this physical reality works this way, and I can manipulate those things. That's wild. Like, okay, like I'm gonna go do that today. And like there's so many levels of gratitude. Your ears, the fact that your ears work is something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go listen to music that you love, the fact that you have a computer or an Ableton, or the fact that you even have any skills at all, there's so much to be grateful for. And we harness that gratitude and we bring it in and start to just get a little bit more humbled and allow yourself to play and just do something, or just get out of the studio and go out, go do something nice for someone. Like an act of service
Mm.
will bring immense gratitude. Like if you have
Absolutely.
writer's block and you're like, how can I help someone else today? Like call your mom, be like, hey mom, just calling to tell you I love you, whatever. Call your partner, go, I don't know, go clean your house, like go whatever you can do, acts of service. Like that's an absolute life hack to immediately feel good,
Mm.
because it's not all about you anymore,
Absolutely.
and it's like, so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of things you can do to sort of break that writer's block. And I mean, for me, like I don't get writer's block at all. Like it
No.
doesn't exist. Like I'll I'll like hit a wall and then have to like readjust, and I'll be in sort of this diagram that looks like this, and all of a sudden like 3 days went by and I'm not necessarily like in love with what I did, but there was no like block, like things were moving. It's
Yeah.
just, and because it's not successful every time, like that's cool too. Sometimes I'll be working on a song and something's not clicking. Like maybe I have one drop, I don't know, the second drop's not making sense, or I have a drop not really stoked on the intro, like whatever, some part of the song is not clicking. Like to me, that's not writer's block. To me, that's just me forcing something
Hmm.
and like sort of uh I'm closing myself off to something like that other thing to come through. So I need to stop doing that and just create some other energy or whatever, and then go back to it and like let it come. And ultimately, there's a surrendering that happens where you can't beat yourself up because frustration will close the channel
Hmm.
beam that wants to come in. And like philosophically, people say, does your music come from you or through you? And I think like everyone has their own interpretation of that. Me
Hmm.
personally, I believe that my music comes through me,
Hmm.
right? It's like I'm a vessel for this thing.
Hmm.
And it's really up to my techniques and my skills to harness that energy and manifest it into a physical thing. But when nothing comes, I don't beat myself up and saying like I suck today. It's just like nothing came through. Sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't come through, but a lot of the times my writing process, I don't hear ideas in my head. It's like a literally a blank canvas. I just start flowing, put my hands on the keyboard, start putting some together, and the idea like it just sort of happens. And then
Hmm.
it's up to me to refine it and shape it and then sort of like become more analytical and ultimately do I think it's a unique reflection of something that I feel like as it's coming through, you put your flavor on it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you get to
Yeah.
put it through your stuff. So um yeah, that's why like yeah, with writer's block too, it's like it's just like a disconnection from the heart and
Hmm.
it's a disconnection from joy and a disconnection from gratitude. So if you have writer's block, you go work on those three things, it will go away.
Absolutely. That was a Hall of Fame answer. That was
I mean, I've
insane.
I've yeah, I've been I mean, yeah, I went through a massive creative rebirth
Hmm.
when I started the LSDREAM project, and it was actually like walking the walk with all of these things that allowed me to birth this project. So, yeah, it's been, I guess like 7 years of like living this way and
Yeah.
working this way. And so it's
Yeah.
very, very easy to talk about and explain.
I love it. All right, let's with this last 20, let's get to some of the Nexus member questions.
Yeah, let's go. Questions.
All right. First up, we got one. You've been pretty. This is from Jason. You've been pretty public about being in sobriety in the scene. How has
Yep.
that lifestyle change affected your career? And did you find it more difficult to network slash ladder up as someone who doesn't drink or use drugs?
Okay, so I got a funny story around this.
Okay.
The first answer is it was game changer and it made me insanely more successful. Um, because if you have addiction issues and you are an addict, what I learned in like the rooms of AA and other research that's been done is, it is kind of like a spiritual disease. Like they say, like you're using and numbing out because you have like a God-shaped hole and you're trying to fill it with everything else except like God and love and that spirit. So ultimately AA, when you do the 12 steps, it's like a spiritual program. And so it really worked for me because it really resonated with a lot of my other, like the puzzle pieces just fit. But it allowed me to really witness the truth of myself. Like it allowed me to witness my flaws, my mistakes, all the errors that I made, all my selfish ways. It just really allowed me to witness myself.
It's scary.
And yeah, it's very scary. And to just be very real about it. And then to be like, okay, well, how do I move through with this? And besides sobriety, like I took part in a lot of other like inner work and spiritual work and retreats and workshops. Like I really was like trying to figure it out because Brills was really, really successful. I was headlining festivals, I was doing sold out tours, and I felt still kind of empty inside.
Mm,
Like I was in a lot of fear, like fear of losing it. Like how am I ever gonna write songs like I just wrote? And like fear of like, like failing. It's like I'm like in the beginning you have nothing to fear because you have nothing to lose, and then when you get something, you're really afraid of losing it. And so the fear of loss was really big. Also, the imposter syndrome was like really big because when I started Brills, I was like, I don't know how to make dubstep growls, but I know how to make 808 beats, so I'm just gonna do that because like I just want to make a song today.
mm,
So the Brill sound was like 808 beats and some noises because I could do it in one day.
mm.
And I was just like, I hadn't written a song in like a year because I was trying to like be Skrillex basically, like everyone else in like
Sure.
2012.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? That's not me. I was like, who am I? I'm like a hip hop guy. I know how to do this, so I'll do that. It blew up and became this thing. Like trap became this thing,
Yeah.
and I got swallowed up in that whole identity and like just drinking, partying, drugs nonstop for a few years, just like the subtle sort of addiction that I had leading up to that point just went like full blown.
Yeah.
And so getting sober, it really brought out a much more vulnerable, real, softer, creative, expressive side of me where I went from this really dark place to this really loving place. And that journey was the most inspiring thing that I had ever been through. So naturally, I'm making art and I want to make art about that. So I was like, well, okay, so that's not Brills. And so ultimately, sobriety had a big part in understanding that, kind of doing a callback to what you said, understanding that the person that I am needs to be more authentically connected to my music and my
Mm,
project. So I was like, I'm going to start a new project so I can authentically talk about the things that I'm going through and how I see the world and everything that happened in my heart during this process of going from like I fucking hate myself to I fucking love myself. Like what is that
mm.
journey? Like so LS Dream became sort of my vehicle to express some deeper truths about my journey. And so sobriety creatively, it was a big part of, and ultimately that came from the desire to just like, I was like, where is my joy? Like, I dreamed about doing music and being successful since I was 18 years old, didn't go to college, was obsessed, pursued it. I was a failure, straight up, complete failure, 18 to 31 years old, over a decade of like, what the fuck? And then Brills, poof, right? Like, why am I not waking up, like doing the moonwalk, being like, I fucking did it.
Yeah.
I'm the man. I'm living my dream. But it wasn't like that. It was like dark. So I
Mm,
was like, all right, I must be broken. Something must be wrong with me, or maybe I'm just not doing the right things, or maybe like what I thought I wanted, or what I thought success was, or what I thought what joy was, isn't this. So the starting point was I need to work on myself. I need to get healthy. I need to get clean. I need to get clear headed. I need to like do the inner journey.
yeah.
And sobriety for me was a place to start because I knew I had a problem. Ultimately, that led me to meditation. It led me to breath work. It led me to doing other inner work, inner child work, shadow work, going on other retreats, all of which impacted me in a huge way. So
You ever do ayahuasca?
I have not done that. Yeah, I've never been called to do it, open to it, but it's one of those things where I believe that like the medicine has to call you in a certain way. And
Hmm.
so I'm open to that happening if it happens ever, but it hasn't happened yet.
You'll pick up the call if it
I
calls.
think my sobriety journey had a little bit to do with that because for the first sort of 7 or 8 years, I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll just go to a retreat and do like 7 days of like intensive work and get to the same
Yeah,
endpoint.
right. Probably similar rules. So, yeah, exactly. For sure.
And I had a lot of success doing that because I think the difference is when you go do like a 5 or 7 day retreat, the integration of the work that you're doing is like much more solid and lasting. When you do ayahuasca, the integration's like can be a little bit flimsy unless you really understand and give yourself a few days a week to like really integrate that experience,
Mm.
because otherwise it's like a flash in a pan and then you just jump back into your life. And so you sort of get a glimpse and you get the download, but then it just becomes like a memory. It's not like integrated into your being versus like 7 days or something of just like deep work
Just
every day.
soaking in it. Yeah.
It holds, it gives you a
True.
chance to, but the networking thing, yeah. Here's a a great story. I really struggled with this at first. Like my green rooms went from full party to like me alone.
Yeah.
Cause like people are like, fucking don't want to hang out with that boring ass sober guy. So I was like, what the fuck? But it showed me, I'm like, damn, none of these people are my real friends.
True.
Like no one's actually trying to hang out with me. But it was also very sad. Like I remember one time I headlined like a New Year show as Bros. And then 30 minutes after the set was open, I was in my hotel room alone, just drinking a milkshake, just like, fuck, so depressing. You know, like this is my New Year's Eve after headlining this like 5,000 person thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, the networking part was tough. Eventually, as time went on, I found like-minded people that fucked with me for who I was.
Yeah.
Didn't care about that. But so one time I get a call and it's like Lex Luger, Metro Boomin, and these other rappers, and they're in LA, you know, and I had worked with A-Track and we produced the song for Travis Scott. So like I was kind of like sort of the door creaked open and I had the opportunity to like kind of go in and maybe
Yeah.
create something.
Sure.
So I'm like, beforehand, I'm like, all right, I know I'm gonna go in there and someone's gonna hand me a blunt and I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to be like, no thanks.
Yeah.
But I know from previous experiences and the way it works with peer pressure and shit like that, people are like, well, you don't want to drink, like, or like you're sober. Like people are really whack like that. So
True.
you, as a sober person, have to learn to navigate that.
Mm.
And the way I navigate that now is very easy. If someone offers me something, I pause, I look at them, and I give them the biggest smile ever, and I nod. And then I go, I'm good.
Mm.
And it just deflates.
Hmm.
And it's a very easy way to just be happy,
Yeah.
you know, and just
Fuck
be
yeah.
really grateful. And whatever. But at the time, I didn't have those skills. So
Sure.
I'm in the studio and and you know, I was talking to someone else about it and they're like, well, what's the scariest thing that ever happened to you from using? And I was like, well, I almost died once. You know, we were all fucked up, we got in a car accident, like I could have died, you know. So basically I used that truth in the studio with these guys. We're all in there, fucking 10 million blunts going around. They're like, bro, let's hit the blunt, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna have, just like dead serious. This is funny, dude. And this was at a time where to be honest, like I did want the validation and didn't want to feel like a bitch in front of all these legends.
Understood. Yeah.
I think now I wouldn't give a fuck at all,
No.
or maybe even want to do that session. But at the time, I was like, oh, play it cool, play it cool. So I'm like, they're like, bro, let's hit the blunt, and I was like, I'm good, man. I'm gonna have to pass on that by the grace of God. And they like looked at me and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm
What?
sober. I was like, I'm sober, and that's because I'm alive. That's because I'm alive today. And you could feel the presence in the room. They were like, respect.
Respect. Yeah, for sure. That's
I just had to get
crazy.
like really, really
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Like,
That's insane.
so I don't know.
Wow.
That was a very unique situation,
That's an amazing
but
story.
again, it's a little tricky to navigate being sober in a world that is inspired by, connected to, full of partying and drugs
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's you know, people use alcohol and drugs as a way to connect. And ultimately, that's what they're saying is like, I want to connect. And so, if you're able to find a way to connect with someone, even though that's not like from your own way, like it won't matter. And one of the people that really inspired me to even get sober was someone who he was a big tour manager for like a huge DJ, and I'd always see him around, and I always thought this guy was partying with everyone. And then I learned he was sober, and I was like, you know, and I remember saying like, "How do you do it?" And he was like, "I already have everything I need." And I just thought that was such a simple, inspiring message of like
Interesting.
someone who was just like in a good headspace and knew what he needed, knew what he didn't need, and like moved around that scene with confidence and grace. Um, and so, yeah, I think ultimately networking amongst the respectable and successful people in the music industry do not give a fuck if you're sober or not. And um, like, it's just a matter of your character, your reputation, your work ethic, what you bring to the table, and what you're about. That's like what networking ultimately is about, is connecting with like-minded people. And there is so much more to a person um, than if they're getting high with someone or not. So, shout out to all the people that don't have addiction problems, fucking live it up, enjoy. Shout out to the people with addiction problems. I feel you, and honestly, best decision I ever made, you know.
Good. All right. We have 6 minutes left and we have 4 questions left.
Yeah,
So
fire away.
we might need to rapid fire these.
No, let's go. We'll go a little longer.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So question.
Shorter answers.
Okay. Okay. This is from Javi, Nexus member. What's something you wish someone shared with you when you were first starting out as an artist or a producer?
Meditation, straight up. Someone was like, "Dude, you want to do this? Like, meditate."
Who told you that?
I wish someone told me.
I was gonna say. I was like, damn, someone told you that. Yes,
No,
absolutely.
No, I thought the question was, what do you?
It was. I totally. No, you're absolutely right. I was gonna say. I wish someone told me that too.
I wish someone told me that because when I started meditating, it was like I had like a superpower. Your intuition goes way up, your creativity goes up, your ability to handle stress goes up, your mood goes up, you're less reactive, like all the things that are going to make you better in this world or make you better, period, as a human. Like, it is such a fucking magical tool.
You know who told me to meditate at the most peak fucked up of my career? Martin.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dude, I played this show. It was like direct support for Excision with Dion Timmer and Martin and Sullivan King or something. And I had just come from another tour the night before, red eye, up all night, in a bad way. And Martin is Martin, you know?
Yeah.
And just said it to my face. And I was like, thank you. I was like, I'm going to go sleep in my green room now, but that's correct to say.
Yeah. I think if there was another piece of advice, is like, it's so cliche, but the idea of playing and having fun, it's like the idea that like you're never going to get anything serious done if you take yourself too seriously. That concept. Because I really spent a lot of time beating myself up and comparing myself to other people, and comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely. That is so that is an old ass statement, and that is so fucking true.
Yeah, like I robbed myself of enjoying the process for many, many years. And that is joy and fun that I can never get back,
Dude, the amount of times I don't the amount of times that the comparison thing, dude, part of the reason I'm a teacher is so that I personally have done everything wrong in my career. Like, not wrong, but all, like, a lot of wrong things that have led me to this mission. I always say now that the Prototype project was just a tool to get me towards where I am right now, which is what I'm truly supposed to be doing on this earth, which is helping people. And comparison destroyed me. I do not know why, because I'm so competitive. I was an athlete. I still am competitive. Yeah. And there were times where the competitive side of me served me in a good way. But so many more times where they did not serve me at all. And I couldn't get over it for the longest time. And then I finally did. And I stopped. It's embarrassing to talk about. It's like I would look at lineups and be like, fuck that shit. you know? Like, just to
Yeah.
be completely real, like, nah, like, that's me. Like, that's not music. That's not artistry. And I'm just being completely real here, that just being transparent with you about how it was, because I know that some people don't want to admit that they feel that way too. Um, and obviously not everyone is like that, but that was a problem for me personally. That one, the soon as I learned to deal with it and harness it, it became a power. And then unironically, I started helping people that would end up replacing me and that felt really right to me. But God, comparison is the thief of joy. Should get it tattooed on my neck. I would have done it at a younger year,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's real.
Yeah. Compare and despair. That's how it
God,
goes.
compare and despair. That's it.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. We gotta keep going. Okay, this is more of like a straightforward one. This one's from Nico. How did you start building a following? I've just begun gathering a small group of people who enjoy my music, but would love if things were gaining traction more than they are currently.
Oh, this is like the $1,000,000 question, I
This is
think.
not this is not a quick fire question.
All right, well, let's get into it.
Sure.
I think that there's a lot of layers here. I think ultimately to gain a following and build a larger community where it becomes a career, you need to have a manager and an agent. You need a team
Yeah.
that's going to help you operate your business, be plugging you into shows, and helping you expand in ways that would just be very difficult to do DIY. Also, you need that time to make art and connect with your people.
Mm,
So the job is then, how do I create enough value to attract a team that believes in what I'm doing?
right.
And so ultimately your goal isn't shouldn't really be about I need 50,000 fans, right?
Yeah, we
Your
talked
goal
about
should
that.
really be about the quality of those connections. Because if you can develop a community with 500 fans, that like the quality of that connection is very, very strong. They love you, they understand your vision, they're stoked when you drop something out, they like interacting with you. They get to, you're getting to know they're getting to know you through your posts and your shares, and you're, you know, you're being visible with them. You're posting, you're sharing, you're making music. Like the quality of that connection in a small scale um, is evidence and proof in itself that the way you're operating is connecting with people. And so from there, you have to just utilize the tools at your disposal to basically reach more people, right? And so those things are, for example, something that's very popular in our culture these days, which is doing flips. You
Yep.
know, you can do a flip of a song and like, you know, those things have gone viral for people. Also, other DJs could play them. They could end up on uh like you can post the sound on TikTok and maybe your video didn't go viral, but that sound could be used by other people. And I've seen a lot of people with literally like a couple hundred followers get a viral sound and like, so these are all tools to your disposal. Um, you know, there's the whole social marketing side of it. And so it's like figuring out what tools you can do DIY to get more people in. I think collaborating with other artists and networking with other artists, right? Let's call it like cross pollination. So you have a sound, you have a community. It's like, how can you build a relationship with maybe another artist that's a little bit bigger than you and do a collaboration and expose your sound to their fan base? And so collaboration is a great way for exposure. Um, and ultimately, yeah, building relationships.
Yeah.
And so if there's a show that's coming to your town, like go to that show, try to meet some people there. Or if anything, like take some videos and tag the artist playing and post them. And, like, um, uh, maybe you're going to a festival and maybe, you know, a friend of a friend's like, "Oh, I know so and so," and introduces you and you build relationships. So relationships, collaborating, using the tools, but um ultimately though, it's not I think the main thing is like the quality of the relationship between you and your fans is like ultimately like the most important thing, because a manager and an agent can see that and help you expand that in a way that but no manager and agent is going to teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
You
Are
know?
you familiar with 1000 True Fans?
No.
It's a it's a book by this guy Kevin Kelly. It's basically the thought behind it is to be a successful musician. All you need is 1000 people who support everything you do. And I read this book when I was like super young, and it changed my perspective on community and the way I just interacted with people. And it kind of was like a bit of a psychological reawakening to some degree. But basically, the whole point of the book is that if 1000 people buy everything you do, you can make a living off of music. And
Yeah.
it's about nurturing a small amount, nurturing a small group of people and treating them the way they deserve to be treated for supporting everything you do. You drop a vinyl, they're copping it. You drop merch, they're copping it. You drop an album, they're sharing it. You make a post, they're posting it to their story. Right? Imagine you have 1000 people that do that. Then the ripple effect is amazing. So I
Yeah.
think that just fully supports your approach to that. Is like, listen, treat the people you got with an insane amount of love and respect and adoration, and go out of your way to talk to everybody, to respond to every comment.
Yeah.
That's part of the job at its core. That is part of the job, part of the
Yeah.
gig.
And
And you love it. It's fun. It's great.
yeah, I think I'll add this in because I didn't have to like I sort of build my projects right before I think a really big shift happened with social media.
Mm.
But I just want to say for all the producers and artists, or even people that aren't producers or artists listening to this, just stop shaming social media. Period. Just stop it. Like, it's fucking incredible. Straight up. Here it is in your hand, the ability to reach so many people. And like understanding that like authenticity, vulnerability, just sharing wherever you are, wherever you're at, whatever you're up to, and just building that relationship. Like, find the positive connection with that. However, you need to find a positive connection with that.
Yeah.
Like, but just stop shaming it,
There's no
right?
cringe.
Just, yeah, because that is literally the fastest way to grow, is to just play that game,
Play the
but
game.
don't play it in a cynical way. Don't be
Mm.
cynical. Don't be jaded. Don't shame it. Don't be negative, because like that you're sabotaging yourself basically. You're just sabotaging yourself. It's like you got to approach it with excitement and wonder and gratitude. Like, I didn't have this tool starting out, and people will be like, "Yeah, well, you didn't have to do all this shit when you started out." I was
Yeah.
like, it was so much harder, so
Mm.
much harder. And so
No,
I
you just
think
had
it's
to be
very
good as
cool.
fuck back in the day. Like, that's
Yeah,
it. Like,
I mean,
and lucky.
yeah, I think there's a distinction between going viral, getting exposure, getting a little bit of something, and having that sustain. Like, you still need to be good as fuck to
Absolutely.
like, to sustain and build through. Like, that still needs to be there, but ultimately, uh yeah, social media, man, like we're just in that era, like, and there's no going back.
Nope. You embrace the funk. All right, two more. When you first started producing, this is from Eric. When you first started producing, how did you manage work life and studio time?
Before, what was the first part?
When you first started producing,
Oh yeah.
what did you do to manage work life and
Oh,
studio time? So, like before you were a full time musician, I imagine is the
there was
question.
no managing. It was studio life 100%. And
Yeah, that's the
people
managing
were
of it.
like, people would like see my girl and they'd be like, "Is Sammy okay?" You know, it was
I get it.
like if I'd be out of the house and like people would see me out, they'd be like, "Fucking, this is a miracle! Like, he's emerged." You know,
Yeah.
we talked about it earlier. There was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no managing it.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Last one. This is a great question to wrap up on.
Okay.
And I want to thank everybody for coming out. This has been so awesome. You guys are incredible. Sammy, I fucking love you. You're the best, man.
Yeah.
Um, what is your why for writing music? And how do you incorporate that into your art?
My why for writing music is to be a positive impact in the world and be of service to my community.
Mm,
My why is to uh, create a container for transformation, and ultimately, it's about uplifting people, raising the frequency, raising the vibration, um, being part of the positive energy of humanity. Like that is my why. Is like I'm very much a this is a service, like being of service platform and project. And the cool thing is that it's also of service to me because I really enjoy writing music, but really the why is the music is a means to an end. The end is creating transformation and raising the frequency, right? And raising up the collective frequency. The music is the vehicle that allows me to create, to be part of creating those things and to be able to hold those containers.
mm,
So, you know, when I wrote, like, when I started LSDREAM, it was really like, it was about being a part of a community and being part of like-minded people and just creating positive energy and being of service to my community. And obviously, I say humanity, but understand that every single person that elevates their frequency, you're helping humanity. Like each of our individual vibes affects the collective. So when I say of service to humanity, it's not some lofty, crazy thing. It's literally like in my community, and then that ripples out. There's like a ripple effect, right? It's like, so yeah, that's the why. Is like, I made music before for self-serving reasons. Like I want to make music to make money. I want to make music to be successful. Um, my why is to have a career. My why is to prove that I am like good at making music, or my why is to prove to myself that I can be whatever. But my why now is to like create transformation,
mm.
or not really to create. No, that's wrong. To create the container where transformation can happen, because people are creating their own transformation. All I'm doing is like creating a space for it. And, like when I played the Lost Lands main stage for the first time, and there's, I don't even know how many thousand people are at that main stage, but
Yeah, I mean
to
20,
play, to play
25, right? Yeah.
it's more,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more, right?
um,
They did 65. Yeah. Something like
it's
35,
way,
something like that then.
it's
Yeah.
way up there. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it like made my knees weak the first time I got up there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
Yeah.
an unnatural view.
Yeah.
But to get up there
Unnatural. Yes.
and then take my set down and play my song Ace of Cups, which is like a meditation song, for that many people to collectively take a deep breath
That's
and
crazy.
just tune in for a second, to like that moment. It's almost like I created all these bangers just so I could hold that moment with those people.
Sure. Yeah.
So my why is kind of in that place, is like that's why I'm really passionate about growing the LS Dream project and the Light Code project, because it's going to allow me to hold more events and be able to hold those really special containers where people can come and like really be around like-minded people, have incredible connections, incredible friendships, incredible conversations, feel free to express if they want to cry, if they want to dance, if they want to be happy, if they're going through something, to feel supported, and ultimately like all that is happening in the heart. And so affecting people's hearts and opening them up to more joy and more connection. Like that's why I do what I do.
I love it. You're an absolute legend, man.
Thanks.
Thank
brother.
you so much, dude. This has been so fun. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Double thank yous. Thank you to Sammy.
Yo, thanks chat. Thanks chat. I got the chat open too, y'all.
You got the chat, dude. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Sammy will come back. He said it.
Yep. Okay, next time.
Producer season.
Yep. Next time we're gonna do full Ableton.
Yeah. Dude, I sent you a bunch of questions earlier today. I didn't bring up one of them. That's how I knew it was gonna be. I did not even look at the doc. I was like, me and Sammy are just about to go off and it's gonna be awesome. And that was so fun. So
yeah.
Incredible. Anything you want to say on the way out?
What do I want to say on the way out? I don't know. Just grateful to be here and thanks for doing what you're doing. Congrats on just like the launch of the school and this new journey, and here to support. And yeah, that's it.
You're the man, brother. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Love you. Peace.
I appreciate you, man. Love you, dude. Shout out to everybody. You guys are incredible. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you more than anything. You guys are the best. Remember, you can sign up for Future Proof. 25% off your first month. FutureProofMusicSchool.com. Use code LSDREAM25. Shout out to LSDREAM, one of the coolest humans on the fucking planet. Spread love. You guys are incredible. Love you.
It's time to take flight, head towards the light, using your third eye so you can feel the magic on the inside. Let bass cleanse your spirit, then you start to hear the soul cry injustice. Let's all join hands and rise above this, all dreamers with a vision to heal through vibration. Rocket show after show, spreading love across the nation. There's a million ways that you can spread love. Choose one, it doesn't cost $1, so homie, just have fun. Beat doctor, I feel like the Phantom of the Opera when I dig deep, grab my mic and release my inner chakra. If you came for the peace, then nobody's gonna stop you. Make way for LSDREAM, Kojak's the lead.